Okay, I wanted to go over the answers to these real quickly here. Let me get that to be a little bit larger. All right, so real quick to go over the answers. Let me change my board real quick. All right, so I wanted to do some math with money because I think that makes sense to some of you guys. You guys know how to do money conversions. So we know that 4 quarters are in $1. So if you have 8 quarters, then you have $2. If you have 12 quarters, you have 3. So what math calculations did you do to the problem? So some people will say, I knew that 4 quarters is $1, so 8 quarters, I'm going to double that to 2. So you're doubling or you're tripling, so that would be multiplying. Some people divided. They took 8 divided by 4, and that was division. So it just depends on how you looked at that problem, but for the most part, kids can do those. They know how to convert between quarters and dollars. So 50 quarters, here's the problem, is when you get a larger number, it's one that you can't just do in your head. So then we get 50 quarters, so then how do you do that if you can't do that in your head? Well, most people, a lot of kids I think would say, well, I know, I'm just going to take 50 divided by 4. But if you're not for sure, this is why I'm going to keep having you guys set these up this way. If I do a conversion, whatever I start with goes right here, and I'm going to put it on bottom so it can cancel out through division. Now the QT means quarters, and I'm going to put dollars up there. I know $1 is 4 quarters. So this way, if it's on bottom, I divide. If it's on top, I multiply. So I know that I'm going to take 50 divided by 4. So it's just a quick way to realize how to set this up and how to figure out your answer without having to think too much. So this would be $12.50. All right, so let's do the opposite of this. If you have dollars and you want to know how many quarters you have, we know $4, and we know there's 4 quarters in a dollar. So a lot of you are going to be able to do that one in your head and say 16. And even if we do $20, and you're like, okay, 20, there's 4 quarters in a dollar, so 20 times 4, and you're going to know that's 80. But then when we do get a decimal, just like we will in chemistry, sometimes kids need help with that. So once again, using that method from up above, I'm going to write down what they give me. I'm going to put that on bottom. I'm going to put what I'm looking for on top. I know there are 4 quarters and $1. So then I know it's multiplication because it's on top. So 15.5 times 4. And that is going to give you, let me see where my math is, 62 quarters. All right. So then let's add another step. Let's add weight into that because that's what we're going to be doing in chemistry. In chemistry, we'll be counting like we have been. Then we'll throw a weight in and want to know, okay, well, how much do I have to weigh out to get this? So 1 quarter weighs 4.77 grams. So 2 quarters, a lot of people can do that in their head. They know they're just going to take 4.77 times 2, and you get 9.54. But then when I get 10, still some people will be like, oh, 10 times 4.77, which is 47.7. But if I were to get some very large numbers, kids might need to know how to set this up. Like, for instance, if I have 95.4 grams, how many quarters is that? So if you're not for sure what to do there, I'm going to start with what they give me. I'm going to put that on bottom, put what I'm looking for on top, and I know that 1 quarter weighs 4.77. So this way I know I'm going to be dividing 95.4 by 4.77, and that is going to give me 20 quarters. All right, so then let's add it all together. What happens if I give you dollars, but I want to know grams and quarters, because there's 2 steps involved. We've done this. You've done the single steps above, but what happens when I'm putting them together? I'm going to erase this. All right, so we know that $1, and some of you might be able to do this in your head because we know $1 is 4 quarters, and 4 quarters, 1 quarter weighs 4.77, so you're going to take 4 times 4.77, but if you're not for sure how to do this, I'm going to start with what they give me. Put dollars on bottom, quarters on top. I know there are 4 quarters and a dollar. Now, though, I need weight. And I know that 1 quarter is 4.77 grams. All right, so here's what happens. My dollars have canceled out through division. My quarters have canceled out through division, and it leaves me with grams, which is what they're asking for. So I know if it's on top, I'm multiplying. So I'm going to take 4 times 4.77. That is 19.08 grams. $1 or 4 quarters would weigh 19.08 grams. So that was one, though, that some kids still might be able to do in their head without having to set it up. But when I give you $30,567, that's one that a lot of kids will see a large number and it'll kind of make them question what to do. So let's take what I give you. And once again, we're going to put that on bottom so we can cancel out through division. Put what I'm looking for on top. I know there are 4 quarters in a dollar. So that cancels out. But I'm looking for grams. So that's why I'm going to have to do that second step. I'm going to put this catty corner from each other so they'll cancel out. And I know that is 4.77 grams in 1/4. So this tells me I'm going to take 30,567, multiply it by 4, then multiply that by 4.77. And that would give you this large number I'm going to write here, 583,000. 218 grams. All right, so this was just getting you guys going with things that you have seen and know of, weights, money, and that's the same thing we'll be doing in this chapter with atoms and the different chemicals and elements we have. All right, that is it. Let me know if you have any questions. Bye.